so hip flexion and extension. We're gonna start at the hip doing flexion and extension. So you remember how we kind of were doing this passively, right? So now we can kind of keep our hand position somewhat similarly and grab him and resist as we go into flexion and extension. All right. So I personally, in the video, the lady kind of cups up underneath here, and then one up top. So you're gonna bend your knee, sir, and then bring your knee to your chest. Good. Come on. Come on. Good job. And then you can flip flop. She comes down. So she kind of does this weird thing. Here's how I want it done. We're gonna grab at the bottom of his heel. All right, so that when he goes into extension, I can do a better job resisting him. All right. So bend your knee and bring your knee to your chest. Come on, come on, do it, come on. You get one there. Let's go. And then he's gonna push down, so I can block at his hip, and I can. Oh, okay. I can block at his hip. I can block at his foot. Okay. So bend your knee. Let your knee come to your chest. So I'm gonna be below his knee joint. So I'm going to be just proximal to his knee joint. And I want him to go through the full range, but he won't hit there. Come on. Sorry. Proximal to the knee joint. Okay? And then he's going to come up through his full range. As he comes down to extension, I want to switch. So I've got my hand here and here. All right? So I can block at the femur, block at the heel. If he happens to actually still have less than I expected him to, then my hand's already in a position to catch him, to block that block that knee extension kind of popping out, and so we don't like it to pop down. So remember, you're doing this with your patient that has some weakness still, which is why you're doing manual resistance as opposed to having to do active activity against a weight or a band or a cable. So if as I go into extension, come on, push into me, sir, push into me, and he gets a little wobbly legged and his knee wants to just fall out, I'm there to block that. Okay, so his knee won't just pop down into that extension. So we're going to block it right here at his femur. So push into extension one more time. There. Good job. And then all the way back up into flexion. Flex, 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 flex. Good. Push down to extension. Push, 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 push. And so I can use my body in good mechanics to always block too. So he does into flexion. That's fine. I can sit on like a tree trunk, right? So going up to the flexion. Hold, 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 hold. Come on, hold on. Why is your head always popping up? Okay, push down. Push down. Push down. Push down. Good. And my hands there to keep it from going at hyperextension. Good. That's flexion. Come back into extension. All right. You okay? You good with that? Okay. Knee flexion and extension. Okay. We can either do that sitting or we can do it prone. All right. So go flip into prone for me first. I'm gonna stick with this side so I'm out of the way. So flexion and extension and prone. The problem here is that once he gets into this much flexion, is that his full range of knee flexion?
No.
No, he probably has a little more, but his hip's not going to let him do it, right? Because his rectus femoris is too tight. So that's the downside to doing it prone. The nice thing is, look how conveniently positioned I am to do whatever I want. So it's a little bit easier for us, but may not get through your full range of knee flexion. Okay, so if he's here, then I can resist flexion. Come on up into flexion for me. All the way up, all the way up, all the way up. Good. Now push me down. Good. And then up into flexion. Good. And down to extension. See his booty pop up, everybody? He's a little tight there. Poor guy. He's a little tight. Come on. And the flexion. A little tight. See? So he's pulling a little bit like this. Has little two joint muscles that try to push down. All right. Good. So there's flexion extension. Option A. Option B. They can sit on the edge for me.
Question.
Yes, sir.
Is that what the trigger has for prone and the sitting thing, hamstring curl and pushing?
Yes. So I'm the hamstring curl when he's flexing, and then it's just like doing a quadricep machine when he's kicking out.
So sitting is better if you're doing feet.
No, not necessarily one's better or worse. You just have to know the limitation. So the nice thing is that it does a great job of blocking him, like the bed's blocking him for the most part, but it doesn't typically allow him to go through the full motion. So it's not necessarily one's better than the other, it's just which one do you want to work? I would say he probably has a little bit more range going into flexion when he's in sitting, but despite that, when he gets through some part of his range, he's going to bump to the table. So again, we're going to have a block eventually, no matter which way we do it, whether it's prone or sitting. So we can kind of modify that as best we can. So if I want to try to keep him from that gets uncomfortable on your knee, right? When we push in there. So I can have him scooch out just a little bit more. There you go. And we don't want him to be too far away though, because then it starts to be a weird angle for his femur angling down. Okay? So if it's hanging off the table too far, his femur starts to just like seesaw with the edge of the table. We don't really want that for him. Look at him, care about him. They're patient. All right. So we're going to start here. We can block extension from here. So go into extension for now. Good. Walking through the full range. My hand's going to stay on his femur to make sure he doesn't lift.
Wait, are we still on
Okay.
flexion of
Like,
extension?
my hands are going to do that first. You don't have to go anywhere. All right. And I can come back and I'm going to block extension so I can kind of flip my grip, or I can just come up here and do it this way. Okay. Go back into extension. I'm sorry. Go back to the flexion. Go. All the way on. You can do it. Good. And then kick out for me. Kick out. Beautiful. Kick in. Kick out. Come on. Come on out. Come on out. Good. And pull forward. Forward. Come on. All the way through. Good. There you go. Flex extension. Good. All right. Let's do those.